Do I have to say
We'll
it
just
so
cut
far?
in Bailey's part as Laura's about to say something.
I fucking hate you.
I got things to do.
Fuck you. Hello and welcome back to Our Three Cents. I'm Laura.
I'm Molly.
I'm Bailey.
And we're really excited to have you back. Our second installment is fun. We're really excited that you've come back for another
It
round.
might not be.
Don't be rude. So let's see what we get into today.
It definitely will be. I was ragging on Laura. It's going to be super fun.
It's going to be super
I
fun.
already know.
Again, we hope.
We'll see.
No, I know.
So how are y'all doing today, my friends?
I'm doing
I
great.
can tell you about my lunch experience. I was telling Bailey about it.
I would love to hear about your lunch experience.
I mean, it was all right.
So today I've been every day I've been trying to eat healthy, but like by the time lunch rolls around, I'm like
Every day?
trying. It never works. So, and today was, one of those days I was like, I'm going to go to Kroger, get some fruit and vegetables, and that's all I'm going to eat. And so I'm like on my way to Kroger, and there's a Chick-fil-A right by Kroger. And I was like, you know what? It's cold outside. I think I'm going to go eat some of their chicken tortilla soup. And that's like not insanely unhealthy, like it's soup. So I'm gonna go get that. So I go to Chick-fil-A, I go up to the front, and I'm like, do you still have your chicken tortilla soup? Because like it wasn't shown on the menu anymore. And she's like, no, it's seasonal. And I was like, well, now I'm trapped here. So I got
Trapped in a
chicken strips
Chick-fil-A.
and fries. And but today, for dinner, I only ate a sandwich. So I mean that's kind of healthy.
What kind of sandwich was it?
Turkey and cheese.
I have two question statements.
Mm-hmm.
My first one is, just because something's soup doesn't mean it's healthy, right?
I know, but the word
Okay.
soup, it just sounds like I'm drinking water for a meal, so like flavored
That's
water.
incorrect.
Yeah, okay. I'll just let it slide. And what season is their soup? What was it called?
Well, yesterday was the first day of spring, so I literally
Yeah.
would not be surprised if that was the last day they sold it. Was like the other day, the day before the first day of spring.
This morning it was 38 degrees outside for me, so I don't know what season they
it
wore.
was a shocker for me because I put my air on cold because it was hot last weekend, and I woke up this morning and it was like 30 degrees outside, and my apartment was like 60.
That sucks.
It was freezing.
Laura, what about you?
I
didn't mean lunch. I meant like, how are you doing? But yeah, go on go on and give me your lunch.
I had a turkey sandwich with cheese that I took off because it was a pre-made sandwich, and I don't like cheese on my sandwiches.
That's weird.
And a pink lemonade
Oh,
from
delicious.
the little supermarket on campus. And then,
That's good.
have I eaten dinner? Oh, yes. I was running some errands today, and I tried to convince myself that I should just go to Walmart and buy groceries, but then I realized that I was going home this weekend, so it didn't make financial sense to go spend money on food that will go bad before I get back to eat it.
Right.
So I stopped at Zaxby's because that made more financial sense.
I knew you were gonna say Zaxby's.
It's so good, and it's right there. Sorry.
Well, I was deciding between Zaxby's, Cookout, and Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, Cookout's good too.
Yeah. I just realized that Cookout has a really good spicy chicken sandwich that I'm in love with. My Cookout order, if anybody wants to know or give me any, is a quesadilla, a corn dog, and a spicy chicken sandwich with a sweet tea.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get
guys, so
fries
just-
instead of the sandwich though, but our order is almost the exact same.
Guys,
Me and Molly are soulmates.
just if you want to come to Laura's wedding, just bring her Cookout as the gift. Do you remember how you're all invited
Yes.
from last week?
Yeah,
If you get the
yeah,
quesadilla
that
as your meal, you get 2.
I don't want 2 quesadillas because I want a corn dog and a spicy chicken sandwich.
No, oh wait, what's your meal? Like, what's technically your meal?
The spicy chicken
Any
sandwich.
one of those. gets to be a meal, and then the other 2 get to be sides.
Oh, all 3 of those are sides?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I get the
think so.
chicken quesadilla.
I don't really know.
I say that first, so they give me 2. Then I get a corn dog
Cheating
and
the
fries.
system.
Oh, okay. Well, then I think you've screwed the system more than I have because I know the spicy chicken sandwich. No, I don't know. You guys, in the comments below,
I'm
tell
a freaking
me
genius.
if I'm right or not. Tweet at me and tell me what I can do.
Molly, did you just say a curse?
No, I said I'm a freaking genius.
Okay.
We can curse on this channel.
We can. I just didn't label us as explicit yet because I don't think we cursed in the last episode. So I was
I talked about drugs in the last
changing.
episode, so
Valid.
That's PG-13.
That's a little explicit. I realized after I sent it to some people, I was like, I don't know if I
Technically-
should have showed that to them.
You only talked about marijuana, not that other thing that you tried that we didn't name in the last one. So it's not really that explicit,
Did we
is
not
it?
name the thing that Molly did in that last episode? Did we not?
We
name that
didn't.
thing?
We just called it that new thing.
Didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. All right, so we have a couple questions from Twitter here. I'll ask the first one. Let me pull it up. So, the first one is, do you believe in ghosts? Do you have any ghost stories? And how about aliens? What is your stance on them? This is fun.
Ugh, I do
So
not like ghosts.
Should we start from who's gonna take like the shortest amount of time to who's gonna take the longest?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that. Let's go with the first question and I'll answer it. Bailey, do you believe in ghosts? Point blank, yes or no?
I do not believe in ghosts. I am, however, afraid of ghosts. And you can take that to the bank.
Sense.
It does.
Molly, do you believe in ghosts?
I'm too scared not to. Like if they exist, then yes, I do.
They'd be
believe in
mad
them.
if you.
Yeah, but if they don't exist, then no, I don't believe in them.
I fully and completely believe in most of the supernatural.
Most.
Well, that's a good balance.
I feel like there's things that like I might not believe in, but at the moment all I can think about is ghost aliens and vampires for some reason. So
Do you believe in vampires, or was that one that you don't believe in?
I mean, why not?
Do you believe
I'd
in
rather
werewolves?
be like, why not? Like, who am I to say that I've seen everything that's real in this world?
Right.
I think I'm like obviously scared of them, more in like a scared of like the unknown type of thing.
Of like the dark, yeah.
Yeah, like you're scared of what's in like lurking in the dark because you're also scared of like people,
Serial
like
killers.
real
Yeah.
people being in the dark, but also what you can't see and what's unknown type of thing. So
right.
I'm scared of that, but I also do believe that like spirits have an effect on the world and
I feel like we generally
not alone.
I feel like we generally like categorize spirits as different than ghosts, if that makes sense.
You can. It depends on
Like-
what you're talking about.
And who you're talking
Yeah.
to, because ghost has
Yeah.
a negative
Yeah.
connotation to a lot of people where it's like demons, but to me
Yeah,
it's
when-
like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but I still don't want to see Casper in my bedroom when I'm going to sleep.
Right. Well, when you said spirits, I was like, oh, like ethereal spirits, we don't know if they cross into our plane of existence or not. But ghost, I'm picturing like like you said, Casper, like he's right there. And I don't think that Casper can be like right there. But that if it's like dark outside, I'm going to be afraid of Casper. Can be. Only when it's dark. Ghosts only exist when it's dark. And
So
that's
Bailey, do you
a
like
fact.
only believe in like sheet ghosts, like like the Halloween costume ghosts?
I only believe in projections. If they can't make a physical form, then they're not real.
So like all of the videos on like YouTube and phone recordings of people like of men standing at the top of stairs and like disappearing into walls.
Yes.
Those aren't. What is that?
Yes.
That's a
No,
ghost?
those would be ghosts. Those would be ghosts.
What?
They took a
You
physical
just
There are
blew Molly's
videos like
mind.
that out there?
Molly, they're usually fake.
It
Oh.
depends on if ghosts are real or not, Molly.
If you think ghosts are real, then don't watch those videos.
Well, no, okay, no, I remember
You know
one
she
time I
does.
read Laura, like, these, like, 20 ghost stories, and then she starts telling me, like, her own little ghost stories, and then she left me alone in the apartment for the rest of the afternoon.
The afternoon, people. It was daytime.
I was still
the daylight.
terrified.
Ghosts don't
You were
exist
like,
in the daylight.
okay, well, I'm gonna go now.
I do not enjoy scary things. I do not enjoy scary movies. I recently started listening back onto a scary podcast, and I'm already freaked out about it. But I still believe the things exist, and I will respect them. And I'm not one of these people that's like gonna go like
Yeah.
attack, like calling them out and being like, show yourself. And no, like, I
Let's
don't want
be
to
very
find you.
clear.
If you come find me and we need to have a discussion because the spirit world needs to talk to me, fine, we can do that. But I'm not seeking you out.
Let's be very clear. This podcast is officially pro ghost. No one here dislikes ghosts.
We would just like to
Say
keep a
a ghost
respectful
was
distance.
listening.
But yes.
We respect the specters.
I love reading ghost stories. I mean, they terrify me to no end, but
I can only read a certain amount. Like, did you ever read,
they make me feel something.
what were they called? Like the scary stories,
Emotions?
black and
Yeah.
white books from elementary school? Those scared me. Still do.
What are you talking about? Goosebumps?
Oh, you mean those ones where like the babysitter and the clown doll who was like waving like 5 hands?
Something like that. Like
And
it
then-
was like a book of stories, and they had
He kills the
Goodbye.
clown
5 or
kills the
6.
children, and whenever the babysitter
Wait,
goes upstairs, the
spoiler
clown
alert.
is like waving 6 fingers.
Oh,
They just
yes,
killed-
I do remember that.
Goodbye.
I hated that. No. And those
Goodbye.
things are one thing. Like, I remember as a kid being in elementary school or middle school reading for school and like AR points. I don't know if anybody else listening
Yes.
had AR,
Yeah.
but it was, you read for
Well,
points.
Molly,
and
we
you
all
got
grew up in the
prizes
same state.
at the end of
know
the
exactly
year.
what you're talking about.
And you could get by reading different books that were on different levels, and these scary books were on a certain level that you could read and get however many points. And they were just a book of
That's why
different...
you read the Harry Potter series.
I had my dad read those to me, and I cheated, so... But these
told
books
me that
had
before.
like actual ghost stories that were like what Molly was talking about, things that really don't happen, and that's all in your imagination. But as I've grown up and started reading things, it's more of people attacking you on the side of the road, or you becoming best friends with somebody and they are really just a stalker, and so it's more real life situations. Like, I
Yeah.
listened to the No Sleep podcast, and it's mostly
Yes, that is terrifying.
terrifying situations where I envision myself in these situations and I just can't handle it, and I had to
Are those
stop.
stories real?
I think some of them might be. Sometimes they say before they start recording that this is based on true events, or we've been told that this is a true story or something like that.
I know they get it from Reddit, so I just don't
Yeah.
know if they're like if it's like real or not. I can't listen to it during the nighttime. Like, I think I listened to it while driving home in the dark, and I
said that
was
before.
scared out of my mind.
See, I used to listen to the No Sleep podcast on my way to and from my internship last summer, and it's a long stretch of highway in pretty much the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, and you would listen, like, you would come upon one, and it was about, like, somebody in a car seeing something out of the corner of their eye and stopping because they thought it was a dog. And, like, I remember listening to one that was, like,
No.
something that I would have done, and I was just like, nope, I gotta stop because I ain't dying. I'm not doing this. And I turned on, like, Barney or something, and I was like, I gotta stop. But it was stressful.
Wasn't the second part of the question if any of us had any
Yes.
ghost stories?
Do either of you
like
have
that
any
we'd
ghost stories?
experienced?
I have a funny ghost story.
Do tell.
Do you?
A ghost story with a twist.
With a twist.
Oh boy. M. Night
So
Shyamalan
it
over
was-
here.
It was my freshman year of college, and I'd come home for Christmas break, and my parents had said that since you're in college now, you don't have to have a curfew. And not that I ever did anything, but I like stayed out till like 3 o'clock in the morning, hanging out at my friend's house, and I was like, I can do this because I can. I had no reason to stay out that late, but I knew my parents would get mad at me anyway for staying out that late, so I didn't set my alarm whenever I came back in the house. And so I was laying in bed, about to fall asleep, and I hear like these footsteps come down my hallway, and they like stopped, and then they turned back around and like stopped in front of my door, and then my door opened, and like I didn't have my glasses on so I couldn't see, and there was this like figure standing in my doorway, and like I thought it was like my brother or something, so I was like, who is it? And they didn't say anything and just kept moving towards me, and I like shot up and I was like, who is it? And my mom was like, oh, it's just me, I'm sorry. It was
Why couldn't she hear you?
Yeah, why didn't
traumatizing.
she answer the first time?
She had earplugs in, so she couldn't hear me
Why
talking.
does your mother sleep with
Oh,
earplugs in?
okay. She wasn't just.
Because my
Yeah.
dad snores.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know how she does that. That's another thing. Like, my mother tells me to put in earplugs so I don't hear anything whenever I'm trying to sleep. But, like, what if somebody
What
broke
if there
into
was
my
a fire
apartment?
alarm?
Huh?
Yeah.
A fire alarm.
Like, what if there was a fire alarm, or like you said,
Exactly.
a break-in? That's not very
Yeah.
smart of your mom, to be fair.
I know. Well, she did it again in the summer. I came home at
She
like
never learned.
1,
In the morning?
and they had reinstalled my curfew because I'd stayed out so late, and
Gosh.
and so I like had my headphones in and my eyes closed, lights off, and all of a sudden I feel something like brush my knee, and I thought it was like my blanket like shifting, and I like shot up because I like they like gripped my knee, and I was like, "Mother," and she's like, "I'm so sorry."
We gotta talk to your mom
Why
about
was your
just
mom
like
gripping
coming
your
in
knee
your
at 1 in
room
the
and just
morning?
thinking that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't know if I was home because I wasn't setting the alarm, and
So she was like feeling around in your bed.
yeah, she was checking to see if I was there. I literally started crying after she left because I was so freaked out. And I told her the next day, I was like, "You made me cry," and she got upset. She's like, "I didn't mean to make you cry." I was like, "Mom, chill, it's
You were
fine."
comforting her after you cried because you
Hey.
thought you were talking to a ghost.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Exactly.
Tell your mom to buy like a flashlight or
She
something.
has one on her
like,
phone.
trade in those
Seriously.
earbuds for a flashlight.
Golly, it's
Bailey,
terrifying.
do you have any stories of ghosts?
I sure
Well,
don't.
that must be nice.
But period, like into that, I'm good.
I don't think I have any.
Me and ghosts, we're just.
I don't think I have any personal ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
But my roommates in my current apartment say that our apartment is haunted. I think that they're joking, but like since
Yeah, your apartment's too new to have ghosts.
do ghosts have a time limit, Molly?
Only if they're murdered in a terrible
I also
fashion.
think that you
like
have
Yeah,
weird
exactly,
ideas
like-
of the origins.
it depends
of
on what your
ghosts.
ghost logic
Yeah.
is.
What's your ghost origin story like?
Yeah.
Ghosts are there if something
This
traumatic has happened
Apartment
there.
complex could have been built on
No.
an Indian
What if ghosts
burial
are
ground.
always there?
I guess that's
We
true.
are in Mississippi.
Anyways,
We used to have
they say
Indians. I'm sure we still
that,
do.
So we have a cat in our apartment, and they say that like things will happen and they'll blame it on the cat, but then things happen. I didn't live here last semester, and they said that things would happen, they would blame it on the cat, and then things started happening that the cat couldn't be blamed for. It just didn't make sense for the cat to have done certain things, like closing doors. Like the cat can't close doors. Our doors hitch really well. Like you can't open it just by pushing it.
Yeah.
And especially the cat can't. Even if the door is just semi-closed, it's stuck so well because of how the building has settled that the cat can't push it open even if it's not latched. And doors will be opened or closed at different times. And so they said that it was just like the air or the movement of air in the apartment or whatever. But there's this one cabinet that when I moved in, they would say like, oh, it's like, oh, this cabinet's left open again or whatever, and I just started making a habit of closing the cabinet whenever it was like left open, but it's still getting left open, and none of us leave it open. It's not a cabinet that like that you use like regularly or anything. It's just like one of the cabinets in the cupboard, and it's always, anytime you look at it, it's going to be open, and none of us remember not closing it or like actively or not closing it. And it's just like one of those weird things. It's like, oh, I wonder what that's about. And then like a week ago or so, I guess a couple weeks ago, one of my roommates said that she like legitimately felt something like grab her in the middle of the night and like freaked out.
No.
And like she's just like
you scared
like,
Molly.
Like not as freaked out about it as I would be. Like she said that she like felt something and thought that it was just in her head, and then but she was kind of awake at that. You know how you kind of wake up a little bit because you like your blanket falls off, your hand falls asleep, and so she did that. So she was awake enough to then feel something actually physically like hold her. And I was just like, well, time to move. Who's packing their bags? Like, let's go. And no one seems to care. I'm just like, well,
goodbye.
Okay, that's fine. So, yeah, the cabinet's still open. The cat's still here. She's a black cat, so I blame her. But
that's true.
No one's grabbed me in my sleep. So.
Well, that's good.
It's because you love ghosts, just like we all do here.
Pro ghost. If I had any stances, I am pro ghost. I guess we can leave ghosts for a minute. I don't think I have any more ghost stories, but the end of the last part of the question was, how about aliens? What is your stance on them? Either of you have an opinion?
Oh, yeah. I say no aliens, or at least like practically no aliens. Like if they exist, they're like too far away from us that like anyone alive will probably ever like
Bailey
interact
a really
with.
Judgmental phase.
She is. I mean, I just think that if there were aliens that we could discover or interact with, we would have done that by now.
No, I think it was too stupid.
Same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe in like 100 years, humans and aliens might hit each other up, but I don't think like we three people here talking about aliens are gonna really have any alien interaction.
Oh, no. I mean, I think they exist, and I think that they found us, and we haven't found them because we're dumb. We talked about this at work the other day. Like, there's just, and they made the point that, like, this universe is too big.
For us to be alone.
For there not to be, others out there.
That's true, but then I would say if they found us, why haven't they come to talk to us?
Like, what have...
Well, they don't need our problems.
I guess what could we do for them? They found us.
Well, I guess I'm thinking like, how would they monitor us? But I guess if they have more advanced technology, they could kind of like super telescope to watch us without us knowing. What if they're watching us now?
Probably are. But
what if they pick up Skype waves?
I think it's more of like like Molly was saying, this universe is too big for us to be alone.
Yeah.
Like there's just I don't, it's like I can't even fathom the idea that we are the only intelligent creatures in the universe that like have the ability to go out and explore the rest of the universe. But it's also like what you were saying about why haven't they contacted us? Like they also, I mean, there could be creatures like us who just don't have that capability yet. But it's also idea of like the idea that humans have of aliens is like, whether we mean to or not, is like little green men in spaceships. When like there's like other, there could be other representations or like manifestations of what an alien is that like we can't think about because we're ingrained to think of like little green men.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, things like that. So we just don't have we might not even have the mental capacity to think about what an alien is, and like just things like that where I am also pro alien if anyone's listening. But
oh yeah, again, we're definitely pro alien.
But the idea of aliens I think honestly scares me more than the idea of ghosts. because of all the sci-fi getting abducted,
at least ghosts were human,
not remembering, being taken to outer space, the type of thing that terrifies me to no end.
Yeah.
But like, and I think there's more to say about the conspiracy theories around, because I'm also pro conspiracy theory, just to throw that out, surrounding aliens than there are surrounding ghosts. Like in America specifically, we have a whole conspiracy theory community surrounding Area 51 about what our government has and hasn't told us about aliens. That there's just such a community around whether they exist or not, and there seems to be a community of people who are adamant that they have seen and have been exposed to and have legitimate evidence of alien existence, where it's at some point, when do you give that legitimacy and when do you at least entertain the fact or the idea that maybe it's not the spaceship, the crop circles, the abduction of cows, but it's an idea that we might have been visited and there might have been alien interaction that wasn't known or widespread. There wasn't widespread knowledge about, but that things might have happened.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that I had never thought about before, that there could be, you know, quote unquote aliens. They're just very similar to us, so they can't reach out in the same way that we can't. Also, like we can to a certain distance.
Yeah, like we're also struggling to get to the farthest regions of the universe, and we still don't know everything about the universe, and we can't even find a way, like, or as my.
Isn't it like always expanding? Like maybe we're just moving away from each other more and more. Like we missed our chance in the like 1700s.
Too late.
Like that was peak alien time, and we weren't.
They
smart
were all
enough.
here.
We just missed it.
Like they all came.
They were all here.
We just didn't get to see them.
That's what dragons were. The dragons were
yeah.
around in medieval times, and then they flew away because they were aliens.
Exactly. But I guess I'm more of the type of person who's. I don't ever want to think that there's not a possibility of something like ghosts or something, because we just don't. We know, in the grand scheme of things, we know so little about what there is and what there isn't. That how are we going to say that there's not, when we've not even gotten very far out of our out of our atmosphere to see, you know. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess what I mean by, like, functionally exist or not, like, they could exist millions and millions of miles away. They just won't ever exist for us.
Yeah, I definitely don't think.
Until maybe, like, hundreds of years.
I do not think that in our lifetime we are ever going to have the Star Trek, Star Wars type of relationship with outer space.
Definitely not.
That they have in those movies.
I think the most we'll get is... Yeah, I think it'll be like at least 50 years before we have like discovery.
Because I don't know if we're as a race, as a human race, ready for the notion that that's real. Like
for real.
Imagining that on top of everything else happening in the world today, some government saying, "Oh, by the way, also aliens exist. Add that to the things that you're dealing with. Have fun." Like just blown minds.
Yeah. Unless Mars, like, drops a wild card on us.
Everyone would lose their mind.
SpaceX needs to get it. Elon Musk, get on that.
I do have a question I want to ask before we leave this topic. Let's assume that aliens are real, that Area 51 knows about them.
Alien.
When you become the president, when you become the president, you get all the Area 51 information. Which former president would tell us first, Bill Clinton or Barack Obama?
Oh.
Wait, what?
Which former president would tell us about the aliens first, Bill Clinton or Barack Obama?
Neither
Bill
one
Clinton.
of them. So
Really?
it's not real because neither one of them said it, or are you just saying, like, hypothetically, if one of them was to tell us which one?
I'm just saying if it was real, and as president you get like briefed in on Area 51, which one of them would rat it out
Clinton.
first?
Hands down.
Yeah, I think Bill
I
Clinton
do too. It may be because I have like that John Mulaney vision
Yeah.
of him being like a goofy old man now, but I also think it would be Bill
Yeah, I
Clinton.
do too. I feel like there would be
Sorry,
like
Obama.
I don't think it would be in the way. I think Obama would tell us to prepare us and like because he cares. I feel like Bill Clinton would do it as a mistake, like on accident.
You're like,
Oh,
whoops.
by the way,
It's like something,
aliens
and
exist.
the aliens in Area 51. I wouldn't supposed to say that. Bill, like something like that.
Yeah, which former first lady would be madder if their husband
Michelle.
spilled the beans, Michelle or Hillary?
Hillary's at this point. I feel like
Yeah.
just doesn't even care.
Well, I think they'd equally
Yeah.
be mad, but you'd only be able to see it on Hillary's
Oh,
face.
good point. But I do feel like Michelle would get more mad behind closed doors.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Michelle would
have
pissed,
like
but
that
would never
deep
know.
anger.
So, same question. What would you do if you were like president and you were briefed? Like, would you want to go? Would you?
I mean,
what would
you'd be kicked out of the country, right?
If you told? I feel like there's bigger problems.
I mean, don't you? Well, I mean, what would we do if someone like let loose that we'd been touched by aliens?
Touched by an
Like
angel.
touched by an alien, the sequel, the reboot to Touched by an Angel, because that'd be like classified information. They'd be like, you just scared America and the whole world by divulging
America.
this. You ruined them. I mean,
That would do it.
yeah, you'd get kicked out of the country, right? They'd send you away. I just think if I was the president, I would definitely want to learn about the aliens. But I don't know if I could handle keeping that a secret, which I'd feel like
Well,
you
that's what
have
I'm saying.
to
Like, what do you do?
to like not
could do
terrify
it.
everybody.
But I would never make it that far to be president because I can't keep a secret.
Well, that's my thought process. Is who knows everything?
just-
Like, who tells the president? Is there like a committee? Is there one specific person that the day you become president, you have to sit down with all these government leaders and all of these military leaders and everything, and they all tell you different things, and then you have one specific meeting with like Bob, and Bob just gets to tell you about aliens, or do you have like an alien committee that comes in and tells you?
Alien committee.
Okay, let me hit you with this. I don't think the president knows, at least by his first year and a third, because Trump definitely does not know about them. And everyone who he's appointed has like been in and out of office so much. I don't think that they would tell anybody who is chosen by the president.
That's a
like
good
it must be
point,
some
that
very special
maybe they don't
designated
exist,
job.
and maybe Area 51 is just a big conspiracy theory, because we would probably know by now.
Yeah. Like
is
somehow we would know.
Like,
and like not just Trump, but like Clinton, Nixon, like everyone who's already had a scandal of their own. How they keep aliens hidden?
Yeah.
Like
valid point. Still pro alien,
but
a valid point. Yes.
could another country know about aliens? Someone who can keep their mouth shut better than
Switzerland.
America.
Switzerland knows.
Switzerland probably
they've
knows.
probably known.
Finland definitely knows if they're aliens or
Switzerland's
not.
probably known before every war that they've been like neutral in. They were just like, we don't need to fight in this. We don't need this. We have bigger fish.
There are bigger problems.
Yes. Got it. We have solved it, everyone.
We're about to do a complete 180 with this next one.
Get ready, buckle your seatbelts.
That's okay.
Here we go. I introduced two friends of mine recently, and after seeing them hit it off, I realized how well they go together personality-wise. They both mentioned to me privately how cool they think the other one is, and they've been in contact, mostly Snapchat, I assume, ever since they met. It's been about 4 days since then. However, I know both of them well and know they have some very key differences, i.e., politically and religiously. The guy's pretty conservative and is saving himself for marriage, while the girl is very liberal and is not. The guy's actually more open-minded than most conservatives and listens to other views respectfully and is probably closer to libertarian than conservative, but he would still identify as a Republican due to his upbringing. The girl is actually a daughter of a priest, minister, pastor. I don't know the differences. So it's not like she's not religious. Anyways, the point is, should I let one of them know about these differences they have with each other or let them find out themselves? The guy isn't going to come out and talk about his political views unless he's asked, so it could go on for a while without her knowing. Thanks for the help.
No, 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 no.
There are multiple reasons why he shouldn't say anything.
Yes. Just tell me
Yeah,
one
go
right now.
ahead.
We could talk about many of them.
Okay, one, he shouldn't be getting in the middle of it. It's not like if it doesn't
Yes.
work out, they're going to come back to him and be like, you screwed this up. Like, you brought us
Yeah.
together and you screwed it up. Like, no, they're not going to ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they can find out for themselves. Like, let them figure it out.
That's part of relationships. Yeah, you're right.
And like, if he's not going to talk about politics without being asked, then it's probably not a big deal in his life. Like, I don't have strong political views, so if I'm dating somebody with different political views than me, like, it's not the absolute end of the world because politics aren't at the forefront of my mind.
It sounds like he's just starting something. I mean, stopping something before it's even started. Like, what was the question? It's only been 4 days.
Yeah, like that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. These people aren't dating
Wait,
right
yeah.
now. It's not like they're keeping
Yeah,
things from
they
the
might
other.
even just be friends.
Like if this was
That's true.
Right.
months into the relationship and this person was seeing them blossom and casually asked one of them, "Oh, how does she feel about you being a conservative or liberal or what have you?" and them saying, "Oh, we haven't talked about it yet," like maybe then I might suggest discussing it or like wondering
Right.
why you haven't
with
brought up
that person, not going to the other
yeah,
person.
but never going to the other person and being like, "Oh, he's a conservative. I think you might have a problem." Like that's, I think, sticking yourself into a
Yes.
situation where you can also be burned. You know, like as a third party,
Yes.
you could potentially
Yes.
be at fault for something, or if they
Yes.
have talked about it and just not talked about it with this person, then he might seem like he's sticking his nose into other people's business, and it could be misconstrued as like, yeah, we're all friends separately, but this is our relationship now, and we want to deal with it within our own relationship.
Yeah.
Right. And like Molly said, it might not be a problem for them necessarily, like, oh, she's liberal. That might not be a problem for him, or it might be something that they can work and compromise. Like maybe some things matter, but they can bring one person more towards their point of view, or see where the other one's coming from.
Well,
Like,
Right, and he said that he was open-minded and respectfully listens to people's other political views. So if that's the case, then I
yeah,
don't see it being
it's
a
also
problem, but
4 days.
it's kind of putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, like 4 days.
yeah.
You talk about very I don't want to say shallow, but very like on the surface level type of topics, like that really don't matter to your personality really, but just kind of tell you if you have any type of connection at all. And then once you get into more serious relationship and is this going to be a relationship? Are we dating? Are we exclusive? Things like that. Then you get into the are we matched in like do we both like there, and there's bigger problems than just politics and political preferences, like kids and things that you obviously wouldn't tell someone on the first date,
Right.
like, do you want to have 2 kids? Because if you don't, then this is over. Like that doesn't really, there's like compromise.
I mean, you might if that's your sticking point, but like,
but both of
you
these
also
people
may
seem
want to just like wait and see with the person,
willing to listen to the other, and like 2 compromising people, where it's not just it's not black and white. It's not anything like that for anyone. But I think the real question that we're trying to answer is if this person should intervene, and I don't think so.
No.
Well, I found it interesting that he mentioned the fact that the guy's a virgin and she's not. So like,
see, I don't think I read it.
He didn't say that.
Well, okay, he said that the guy was saving himself for marriage and the girl was not.
Does that mean see?
she's either
Like,
trying
that's a
to lose
problem that
it or
could
she
come up.
already
I don't know
has
if
lost it.
I didn't know if I was supposed to take that as she is not actively saving herself. Like if she is in a relationship, that's not something that she is actively trying to not let happen, or that if she had already lost her virginity.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought that was interesting that he's saving his virginity for
Right.
marriage, which I find interesting in multiple ways. You don't find a lot of guys that are doing that. And I don't know a lot of girls that count that as a deal breaker. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and not to
mean,
sound any certain way, but I think it's more socially acceptable for a guy to have slept with multiple women, or like to have lost his virginity and it not have
Yes.
been such a big deal as if excuse me, as if a girl has slept with multiple, has had multiple partners, sexual partners.
Right.
I think we see a lot more. Yeah, like I feel like we see a lot more women having questions asked about their virginity or about their sexual partners, and less men. And then in this day and age, at least where
Right.
like we're from, I feel like I don't ever assume that men have not had multiple sexual partners, or that that would be a big deal to them, but that a girl having multiple sexual partners, that might be a thing that like a guy might get hung up on or stuck on.
yeah, I guess I was looking
Yeah.
at it from her perspective, like how she would react
Yeah, like I
to
would
the guy
never.
being a virgin.
I don't think I've ever even thought about the fact that a guy might not have had only like myself as a sexual partner, but I'd never. It would never have been a problem for me. Like I just don't ever.
Yeah.
I don't
That'll
think I
just
would have
be
ever
another
cared.
thing that they'll have to talk
Yeah.
about.
Like as long as
Yeah.
you get tested and you're safe, I don't think that's a problem. But same goes for girls. Like I don't understand the body count
Yeah.
situation that we're in this day and age.
Because we're not supposed to be having sex.
That sounds like a murder. Your body count.
I put quotations
Body
beside
count.
it because I
How
do
many
not.
guys she's murdered.
I do not. I do
Hey,
not
if she's
like,
a murderer, do tell your friend.
Yeah. That's when you intervene, when she's a psychopath.
Yeah, that's when you intervene and call the police.
But yeah, I feel like there's a stigma around women's body count in quotations, because I hate that term, and less around it guys. And as a woman in this day and age, I personally don't think that I would have a problem with my partner having multiple partners, but I also don't see the problem with women having multiple sexual. I don't have the problem with anybody having multiple sexual partners. It does not invalidate your
or none
person. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't invalidate or give any meaning, I don't feel, to your status as a good boyfriend or good girlfriend. It just means that you've slept with however many people you've slept with, and as long as you were using protection or you've gotten tested and you've taken the necessary precautions, I don't see that as a thing that has any validity in a relationship.
Well, coming from someone who was once a conservative, I definitely see how if if she is sleeping with has slept with like more than one guy, even a guy, that might seriously bother him. Cause like when I was in high school, like I had grown up, believing that like sex was a sin before marriage, and like I literally cried the first time somebody told me that they had had sex. I cried for them. Like it wasn't me that had sex; it was my friend. And so,
wait? Can I ask? Can I ask what the logic behind your tears were?
Oh, I was just concerned for their safety. Like
Their
I thought that they were like
safety?
giving it up to a guy that didn't matter. Like,
okay.
Like I thought it happened way too soon.
I gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, like the thought of like dating a guy that had like slept with multiple girls, really bugged me. Like I never thought I was gonna be able to find somebody who like hadn't slept with anybody because of just like the day and age we were growing up in. And I mean now, like I haven't even thought about it, but like yeah, that I don't think that would bother me now, but like back then, like I would have felt like I didn't matter and that they didn't care.
That you were just another number.
Right. And
yeah.
And he may totally care and feel the same way that you did. But again, that is not for the question asker to
No.
shovel that
But
information
another
in.
conversation topic that I just want to hit on really quick is that if
Mm-hmm.
you are bothered by it, that's your right also. Because I, the same as Molly, grew up in a very conservative culture where I was told
Yes.
from a very young age that my value, or some
Yes.
of my value as a future spouse was in my
Was tied to your flower.
was tied to my flower and my virginity, and knowing, growing as you do in the church or in your conservative culture, wherever
Or,
that may,
just we're all from Mississippi. I think
Yeah.
we all,
wherever that may be, you learn as you grow up that it's just there might be slight nuances to it, not just in God's eyes or in spiritual or in your church's eyes or what have you, but more of a you want, on both parties, man and woman, want to keep themselves clean and saved for your one spouse, and like being able to say that you have only had sex with your wife or your husband, like that sounds nice and appealing, and that adds on to the deeper rooted conservative Christian mindset that has perpetuated the South. And it's not a bad thing if he does have a problem with it. I'm not saying that he is at fault or he is judgmental or he is critical in any way because he feels that way,
Right.
but that she's not devalued, and neither is he in either the thought in any of the thoughts that they have. It's just how you were raised and how you were, what culture you were brought up in, that kind of molded you into how you feel and what you feel about. And
The only situation I could see where the question asker would need to like intervene is if he catches one of them in a lie.
Yeah.
Like if maybe he's talking to the guy and the girl, he says that the girl told him that she's been voting Republican her whole life or something like that. And you're like, oh, well, that doesn't sound right. But again, in that case, I would go to the girl.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
vice versa. Like whichever one you think may not be being honest, because that's then a problem of you're not being honest in a relationship. Not, hey, I think you guys might not last. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
They might. They might not.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, I think that's the big that's the big like answer is that, and this person's probably coming from a place of respect and love and
definitely.
like I just want to watch out for them, but
and I get that.
we're all adults, and you've kind of got to hash it out for yourself and kind of do what you're going to do in a relationship that is so new at this point.
Right.
To the extent of, if things come up, they come up, but don't don't start a fight between two people before they start the fight, like that just would suck. So
yeah
I agree. That was a good talk.
that was a good talk.
That was.
I hope we answered the question.
I think we definitely did.
We did in there somewhere.
I hope this couple works itself out. I hope they last.
I want to be like,
and they can play this podcast at their wedding.
Yeah.
I want to be given like updates.
We stopped your friend from intervening.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
If
really, we hooked them up. If you think about it.
If the couple is listening to this
by stopping the
right
question
now,
asker.
we would love anonymous updates on your relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
We would take those.
Yeah, we should definitely.
And if you have any more problems, we would love to give our unsolicited advice.
Yes.
And that goes to everybody? Do you want to do the outro?
This was a good starting question to just show how, like, not
knowledgeable and smart we are.
But, like, how good we are.
I do.
We are not professionals, and we are not trained for this, but we would love to tell you our opinions.
We're still really good.
We try to come
We're super humble, too.
We try to come from, or we are trying to come from, an unbiased place and where we're not judgmental, but we do want to voice our own opinions and try to help you to the best of our ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we all, a lot of times,
However,
have
if you try to
different...
break up your friends,
Yeah, don't try to break up your friends.
if you try to break up your friends, we will judge you,
Yes.
but that's okay. We all got to be judged sometimes.
Yep.
Laura, you want to take us out?
Okay, so that wraps up our second episode of the Our 3 Cents podcast. You can find us on Twitter at ourthreecentspod, the number 3. Our email is ourthreecentspod@gmail with the word 3. You can find us on YouTube and iTunes soon. Those are currently under construction. We would like to thank Kevin MacLeod for our music. The song title is Digital Lemonade. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to DM us on Twitter or email us. Thanks again for listening. Catch us next time. Bye.
Bye.